Hello, hi everyone. Assalamualaikum. So let's continue with quadratic inequalities. Quadratic inequalities can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c greater than 0, greater than n equals to 0, less than 0, less than n equals to 0, with a, b and c are real numbers and a cannot be equals to 0. If a is equal to 0, it will be linear. Quadratic inequalities can be solved two methods actually. The first one is graphical methods and then analytical methods, where in analytical methods contain real number line and sign table. So I'll show these three methods with questions. Okay, next we have quadratic inequality by using graphical methods. Okay, for ax squared plus bx plus c greater than 0 or any inequalities, step 1, use the properties of inequalities to obtain a 0 on one side of inequality with a is positive. That means we need to bring everything to the left hand side with a is positive. Step 2, factorize if possible the quadratic expressions on the left hand side. Step 3, find the values of x where the graph cuts the x-axis when y equals to 0. And step 4, sketch the graph and set up the values of x. So since step 1, we must make sure a is always positive, so that means our sketching will be a positive. Step 5, choose the graph where the above, below x-axis and write the answer. Okay, let's discuss example 9. A, 4 minus 5x greater than negative x squared. Step 1, we must bring everything to the left hand side. So we will have x squared minus 5x plus 4 greater than 0. This is basic algebra. Okay, so I rearrange already into ax squared plus bx plus c. And then we have step 2, factorize. We will have x minus 1 times x minus 4 greater than 0, factorize. So from here, step 3, find the values of x where the graph cuts the x-axis. So we will have x equals to 1, x equals to 4. Step 4, sketch the graph. It will be always small because we let a equals to 1 where it's positive. Okay, and then we have 1 here and then we have 4 here. Okay, why I draw an empty circle? Because we have greater than there where 1 and 4 does not include. And then we choose the graph where the above, below x-axis. Since we have greater than 0, okay, greater than 0, so that means we need to consider above x-axis. Okay, then our answer is, so it will be, this is x less than 1, this is x greater than 4. Okay, how we manage to get this answer? It's actually represent the shaded region, right? So how to represent it into solution set like we discussed previously. X less than 1, so we put x double dot and close it. Okay, so this one is x greater than 4, x double dot, close it. Okay, since we have two separate answers, we must put union here. Okay, this is solution set. Okay, for interval form, it will be negative infinity to 1, union with 4 to infinity. Okay, so you can just leave your answer in either of these two forms. Okay, so let's go with next example. So B, 3x squared less than n equals to 2x plus 1. So again, we need to bring everything to the left hand side. It will be 3x squared minus 2x minus 1 less than n equals to 0. Okay, so then factorize it. 3x plus 1, x minus 1 less than n equals to 0, and then find x. Okay, x equals to negative 1 over 3, and x equals to 1, and after that we draw it. So we will have here is then circle because we have less than n equals 2. So negative 1 over 3. Here is the circle 1. Okay, and then we have less than. So we need to consider below x axis. So our answer will be, so I leave the answer in interval form, okay? So our answer will be negative 1 over 3 to 1. Okay, for second method, which is table of sign, step 1, use the properties of inequality to obtain 0 on one side of inequality. So as previous, so make sure A is positive. Try to make sure A is positive. So step 2, factorize if possible the quadratic. Step 3, determine the critical values of x, which a value for which a factor is 0 is called a critical values of x. Step 4, put the critical values between interval. Test by selecting any numbers from each interval region and insert it in each factor. Step 5, write the solution set accordingly to the questions given. Okay, so let's go to questions number 1. Okay guys, this is actually same as previous questions. We want to test it by using table of sign. Okay, so first we need to bring everything to one side. Okay, 2x minus 1 less than n equals to 0. Factorize 3x plus 1 and x minus 1 less than n equals to 0. And now we have the critical point is x equals to negative 1 over 3 and x equals to 1. Okay, so by using this critical value, we need to draw the table. Okay, first we need to draw the number line to represent the critical value. Okay, which we have negative 1 over 3 and 1 in ascending order. Okay, and after that we have here is empty circle because we have less than n equals 2. Okay, and after that, below each value, draw a vertical line, okay, and construct table. Okay, so left here, add on another column, okay, and draw the first row, okay, and add on another row, okay, to represent the test value. Okay, the next row, the next two rows represent the factor. The factor we have is 3x plus 1. Second factor is x minus 1. Okay, while the last row is the multiplications between these two factors, which is 3x plus 1 multiplied with x minus 1. This is actually represent the quadratic inequality that we have. Okay, for the first row, that is actually the interval form that we have to represent the space based on the number line that we have above. So that means for this column, we will have negative infinity to negative 1 over 3. While the second part is negative 1 over 3 to 1. And last part is 1 to infinity. So it represents the space from our number line. So then, take the test value to represent the interval. Okay, what is the value to represent negative infinity to negative 1 over 3? Okay, let's say we have negative 1. Any number. So, I suggest you take any number that easy for you to calculate. And then, what is number between negative 1 over 3 to 1? 0. 1 to infinity, 2. So then, using that value, substitute into the factor that we list just now. So substitute negative 1 into 3x plus 1, we will have negative. Okay, take the sign only, because this is table of sign, right? So what if we substitute 0 into 3x plus 1? We will have a positive value. Next, substitute 2, we will have positive. Next, we have substitute negative 1 into x minus 1, we will have negative 0. We will have negative. Substitute 2, we will have positive. Okay, for the last part, since we have 3x plus 1 multiplied with x minus 1, is actually multiply the sign, right? So negative multiplied with negative, we will have positive. Positive multiplied with negative is negative. Positive and positive is positive. So what will be our answer? So our answer will be, take a look at the previous questions. We actually have less than n equals 2, right? Less than n equals 2. So that means we need to consider negative. We need to consider negative. Okay, so our answer will be this interval, which is negative 1/3 to 1. Finish. So why don't you try these questions by using sign table, and we will discuss these questions the next video, right? Thank you.